It is Monday. Back to the grind. Let's get after it. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back into another episode for Just a Bet Outside. We are starting a new week, a new month. Happy May 1st. Can't believe we're already a month into the season. That is crazy. What a great way to end last week, huh? 2-0 on those Friday parlays. Let's see if we can keep it rolling this Friday. But for now, we got an 8-game slate on Monday. Not a ton of games. We got a Braves Mets doubleheader, so that starts early. Just so you know, if you do want to bet on that game. But just real quick, a month into the season, raise your hand if you had these three teams as the three best winning percentages in the league so far: the Pirates, the Rays, and the Orioles. Yeah, no freaking way did I. I probably had none of those three in there. And then three underachieving teams: the Cardinals, my Mariners, and the White Sox. Cardinals are 10-19 right now. Mariners 12-16, and the White Sox are a dismal 8-21 right now. It is ugly. The White Sox rebuild has come to a screeching halt. They suck. The organization is a mess right now. I don't know how they're going to recover. But the Mariners, I hope they can bounce back. Cardinals have too good of a lineup, but their pitching is struggling right now. But with those three surprising teams, I mean, the Rays look legit. Orioles, we knew they were up and coming, so that's not exactly a fluke. And the Pirates, I don't know. We'll see. But they're playing hard and they're fun to watch. So just a fun little first month of the season, that's for sure. But starting tomorrow, most of our bets are going to be 1 unit finally. I know. I'm a scaredy cat. I've been doing half-unit bets. We're going to be doing 1 unit bets for the most part every single time starting tomorrow on Tuesday. But for now, small slate, didn't love a lot, so we're going to stick to half-unit plays today. In this video, we got a little bit extra for you. We got good hitter matchups. We got good pitcher matchups, but then we're adding one. We got bad pitcher matchups. If you are an under K prop kind of guy, I got some good ones for you. So make sure to check the lines. Doesn't mean automatically blindly bet them or anything like that. So I think we're about to get into it. But real quick, how about the Seattle Kraken? The hometown team taking out the defending champs in Game 7. Congrats to them. That was awesome. And how about Steph Curry? Whoo, baby, my favorite player to watch, and he was something special. All right, back to baseball. That's all you want in this video. Let's go over the bets recap from the weekend. Let's see what we got going on. There it is, Friday. It was a weird day on Friday, guys. Pablo Lopez over 6.5 Ks, a nice plus 125 win. Mariners first five money line. I got a ton of crap from a lot of Blue Jay fans for this bet. It was just ended up being a push. It was 2-2 after 5 innings. Braves team total over 4. Let the bad luck continue. We had 4 runs after 5 innings, and it was a rain delay, and then it was postponed. So it ended after 5 innings, and they ended with 4 runs. So that was a push. Stroman 5+ Ks and Horner 1+ hit. Nico Horner got the job done. Stroman did not. So we went 1-1 on the regular bets, but then the nice plus 452 winner. The Twins minus 1.5 was super stressful. It was sorry, there's a little mistype right there. Should say 1.5. It was Twins minus 1.5. But they were up 2 in the ninth inning, bases loaded, 2 out, 1 ball away from blowing it, and I think it was a strikeout. So that was tight. And then the Cards Dodgers like to stress us out too. They didn't score for a while, and then finally got it done. Saturday, I don't know why I even gave bets. I should have just rode the high from that Friday parlay. Detmers over 6.5 Ks was an unbelievably terrible beat, guys. 5 of his first 6 outs in the first 2 innings were strikeouts. So that's right. After 2 innings, he had 5 Ks. He ended with 6. Go figure. I don't get it. He fell apart. He lost his control. He got hit a lot and got pulled, I think, in the 5th inning. So, Cards team total over 3.5. They didn't get over 0. Yeah, they did not bring the bats. Go figure. Welcome to the Cardinals being 10-19. Inconsistent lineup, and now I'm going to make a note of that. So over the weekend, 2 and 3, but that doesn't matter because we were up 1.20 units. The profit is all that matters with those. Parlays, Friday parlays, we're going to keep those on there so we know we are 2-0, 3.59 units in the positive because remember, those were only half units. That's why you're seeing a lower number. And then the season, 62 and 57, up 3.97 units. All right. That's the weekend. It's time to move on. Let's start with the good hitter matchups. All right, let's go. Let's start out with some good hitter matchups. There wasn't a ton today, but I got 4 that are decent. Not a huge sample size. Here we go. First one, George Springer, 9 for 24, 2 doubles and 1 bomb versus Corey Kluber. I feel like I've been bringing Corey Kluber up a ton lately. Manny Machado, 7 for 18 with 2 doubles and 2 bombs versus Luke Weaver for the Reds. Machado's been struggling this year, though, so just keep that in mind. Pete Alonso, 6 for 18, the polar bear with one double versus Uncle Charlie Morton. And then number 4, Alex Verdugo of the Red Sox. He is 6 for 14 with one bomb versus Jose Berrios. So that's kind of all I got. Like I said, we got 14, 18 at bats, 18, and then Springer 24. So not a big sample size. Do what you want with it. I just want to let you know who's had a decent matchup. So those are the good hitting matchups. Let's move on to the good pitching matchups. All right, here we go. The good pitching matchups. I got 3 of them for you. Let's start out with Mr. Luke Weaver of the Reds. He is facing the Padres. Padres have the 6th highest K percentage versus right-handed pitching, and Luke Weaver has 16 Ks in 11.2 innings. That's right. He has 8 Ks in both games, so it's a good matchup for him. Tony Gonsolin of the Dodgers versus the Phillies. Phillies, 7th highest K percentage versus righties. Now, this is Gonsolin's only second game back. He only threw 65 pitches. I expect him to throw a little bit more, but just keep that in mind. I don't think he's fully stretched out yet. But Gonsolin's a stud. He had 119 Ks in 130 innings last year. So that's Gonsolin versus the Phillies. And then the third one, Luis Garcia versus the Giants. The Giants, second highest K percentage versus righties. We all know that. They struggle. And then Garcia, 31 Ks in 27 innings. Last 3 games, 7, 9, and 7. And those teams were 19th, 20th, and 21st. So he gets a much better matchup. And he just had 7, 9, and 7. So this guy's turned it around. We'll talk more about him later. So those are good pitching matchups. Now let's go to the bad pitching matchups. All right, if you're someone who's been looking for some under K props, which we have not given out much, this is your segment right here. I got 4 pitchers who actually have bad pitching matchups. Let's start on number 1, Uncle Charlie Morton. He is facing the Mets. Mets, 3rd lowest K percentage versus righties. They're only striking out 19.2% of the time. Morton has 26 Ks in 29.1 innings so far. Only other time that he's faced a top 10 K percentage team in regards to the lowest, so a team that doesn't strike out much, was the Cardinals, and he had 1 strikeout. So just want to throw that out there. Second one, Drew Smiley versus the Nationals. Nationals, lowest K percentage versus lefties. I know it's hard to believe, but this is how they are. They were like this last year. They don't hit the ball very well, but they put the bat on the ball and they do not strike out a lot. They have the lowest in the league versus lefties. Drew Smiley's been good this year, though, 27 Ks in 28 innings. So check to see what that line is when it comes out and make your judgment on that. But Domingo Herman, I think that's how you pronounce it for the Yankees, versus the Guardians. Guardians, second lowest K percentage versus righties at only 19% of the time. They're always like that. They're not a strikeout team. They haven't been for a few years. Herman, 33 Ks in 26 innings. He already faced the Guardians earlier this season, and he had 0 Ks in that game. I think he only lasted 3 innings. I don't remember exactly what happened. If he just got yanked, I think he had a high pitch count. He was struggling with control and all that, but he had 0 Ks in like 3 innings. So the last one, Jose Berrios versus the Red Sox. Red Sox have the lowest K percentage versus righties. I know, hard to believe also. Berrios, 30 Ks in 28.2 innings. So keep that one in mind. I think the weather is all about an over in that game. It's like 10 or 10 and a half over under, but that's not a great matchup for Berrios, I will say that. But he has been pitching better lately, as all the Blue Jay fans have been reminding me. He has been pitching better lately, finally, over a year later. So those are the bad pitching matchups. Enough of all those stats. It's time to get into the best bets, and that starts right now. All right, let's go. Game number 1, the San Francisco Giants at the Houston Astros. Astros money line minus 190. Giants money line plus 160. Over under of 8.5 runs. Guys, this is all about fading these Giants because they are traveling from Mexico. I know it's not a long flight. That's not what I'm talking about. It is the elevation change. Teams have a tough time going from Coors Field and then back home or to some other place the next game. It takes a while to adjust. Coors Field is 5,200 feet above sea level. That's the elevation, just for some science here. Mexico, where they played, 7,349 feet. I measured. No, just joking. Google told me. So that's a huge elevation change, guys, to now go to Houston. It's just a terrible spot for San Fran after those Mexico games. I love the Astros here. My best bet is the Astros minus 1.5 at plus 105. Now, I'm going to have a video about one of the Astros pitchers in just a little bit, but let's dive into this matchup. Ross Stripling for the San Francisco Giants. Guys, he hasn't thrown more than 67 pitches yet this year. He is just not very good. 6.89 ERA, 7.69 expected ERA, a 1.60 whip. If you don't know what that is, that's walks plus hits divided by innings pitched. It's not pretty. And he's given up a whopping 32% hard contact. He's never been a great pitcher in his career, and he's not good so far this year. Now, let's move to Mr. Luis Garcia. He struggled at the beginning of the season, but the last two starts, he has been dynamite. He's looking like he's back to himself. And the reason I think he's back to himself is because he's actually he had to change his lineup. The MLB made rules with the new balk rules and also the time limit, and that affected him drastically. So I had a feeling it would be hard for him to adjust. But let's just take a look at this video real quick to compare his old windup versus new one. Look at that. The old one, he was rocking the baby right there. Let's look at this again. This is just wild to me. Rock the baby. That's right. Put him to sleep. Wind it back. That's his old and new right now. That's how much longer it took. He was the slowest Astros pitcher last year. He took 21.2 seconds with no one on base to throw a pitch and 27.1 seconds with runners on base. He took pretty much a half a minute every time a runner was on base to throw a pitch. So he has had to make some real adjustments on how he throws, and I think he's finally figuring it out. The last two games, 13 innings, 0 earned runs, and 16 Ks. And you want to know who they were against? The Blue Jays and the Rays. Very impressive. I think he's figured it out. He's back to being his old self. Only allowing a 20% hard contact, so he's right there. I love Luis Garcia. A lot of this is against the stats, so I'm not gonna lie, because we know the Giants hit righties well. They're third best WRC plus against righties, and the Astros are only 20th against right-handed pitching. But for this game, I don't think it matters. Like I said, it's the elevation change for the Giants. It's the much better starting pitcher for the Astros. I just love the spot. So I'm going against the WRC numbers and all that. I like the Astros to win by 2 or more in this game as my best bet. Let's move on to game number 2. All right, here we go. Game number 2, the Blue Jays at the Red Sox. Blue Jays money line minus 150. Red Sox money line plus 130. Over under of 10 runs. That's right. That's a lot of runs. I got something a little different. This is a hitter parlay. That's right. I got 2 people to get 1 plus hit at minus 128. Here we go. Bo Bichette, 1 plus hit. Alex Verdugo, 1 plus hit. Bo Bichette on the Blue Jays, Alex Verdugo on the Red Sox. They both just have to get 1 hit, and I got minus 128. Guys, I just love this bet. This might be my favorite bet of the day. Let's start with Bo Bichette. He's hitting 318 versus righties this year. That's pretty dang good. He's one or more hits in 21 of 28 games this season. And Alpha Kluber, which we talk about all the time, he's 5 for 11. Small sample size, but he's just crushing the ball. Alex Verdugo, 1 plus hit. He's hitting 325 versus righties. So these guys have great averages versus right-handed pitching this season. He has 1 plus hit in 23 of 29 games this year, and he is 6 for 14 versus Berrios, hitting 429. I mean, these are like identical guys. Bichette is crushing off of righties. Verdugo's crushing off of righties. They both have 1 plus hit in the majority of their games, and both have a good track record, even though it's a small sample size versus the other starting pitcher. So I love these two. All they got to do is get a hit. Let's get a cash in like the first inning. I would love that in these two. Minus 128. That is my best bet. Let's move to the third bet. All right, here we go. Cincinnati Reds at the San Diego Padres. The San Diego Fathers, they are minus 225 on the money line. The Reds plus 190, over under of 9 runs. Part of this, the reason for this bet is because I'm fading the other team from Mexico. The Padres, they're coming from Mexico after they played the Giants. We all know why, but that's not the only reason. Let's talk about this. The pitcher for the Reds, I'm not going to sing it. Don't worry this time, but it is Luke Dreamweaver. Okay, that kind of sang it. Sorry. But in 2 starts, I'm going to be honest, he's been hit pretty hard. 37.3% hard contact. It hasn't been pretty. But he's had 8 Ks in each game. I was so close to going with his over Ks. I think I saw something that just popped up before we recorded at 4.5 Ks, but it was minus 140, a little too high. I wouldn't mind 6 Ks, 6 plus Ks at maybe plus 150 or whatever you get it at. It's an option because the Padres strike out a lot. You know that with those good pitching matchups I told you. But anyways, back to Weaver. Those 2 games that he went against were 2 of the top 7 offenses versus righties. So now we're playing the Padres, guys. Let me tell you something about the Padres. They are so overrated on offense. Juan Soto hasn't been good in quite a while. Machado is struggling. He was good last year, but he is struggling right now. The Padres versus righties. Get this. This is going to blow your mind. The lowest batting average in Major League Baseball. That's right. Bogarts, Machado, Soto, Tatis. Lowest batting average versus righties. 6th highest K rate versus righties. 12th worst WRC plus. 13th worst OPS. So that's kind of middle of the pack. That's not good enough, guys. That's just not. They're not a great offense right now. On the mound, so this is going to be Weaver's best matchup, is what I'm trying to tell you. Blake Snell is on the mound. Man, we know to fade Blake Snell, and it's been good. The Padres have lost all 5 games that Blake Snell has started. He is 0-4 himself with a 5.48 ERA, 16.5% walk rate. That's in the 5th percentile of starting pitchers. Guys, he cannot control his stuff. He's the same old Blake Snell. Nothing is changing right now. The Reds, in regards to their stats, they're right in the middle of the pack versus lefties, so they're not a bottom feeder. They're not terrible. They're just a decent team. And then you look at the bullpens. Cincinnati Reds, 11th best ERA in the bullpen. Padres, 22nd. These teams aren't that different right now, to be honest. The Cincinnati Reds bullpen also has the 4th most strikeouts from the bullpen. So, for what it's worth, just want to let you know. Now, the best bet in this game, because I haven't said it yet, it is the Reds plus 1.5. Guys, another stat I got to go over. The Reds are 3rd in the league on the run line. They've just been covering. They're 17-11, covering at 60.7% of the time. I think they've only lost a few in their last 10, more than one run. They're pesky. They're feisty. All I need them to do is keep it within run. I almost went with the Reds money line at plus 190. If you got the guts to do that, go for it. I think this is a bad schedule spot for the Padres. And I just think the Reds have a chance here. So I don't like Blake Snell exactly. So that's the deal. That's my final bet. The Reds plus 1.5. Lock that in. Let's go to the bets recap. There we go. Astros minus 1.5 at plus 105. Then the hitter parlay. Bo Bichette, Alex Verdugo, 1+ hit each at minus 128. And then the Reds plus 1.5 on the run line. That is plus 100. We are getting even money for that bet. I love it. I love it. I love it. All bets are a half unit, like I said. We're going to probably go to 1 unit tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. Man, I'm excited for another week. Thank you guys. Please keep hitting like. Please keep leaving comments. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. I cannot thank you guys enough. This has been a ton of fun, and we're only 1 month into the season. Let's keep it rolling. I hope everyone has a good day. We'll talk to you later.